Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 1 hour. Calm prevails in border areas of Gujarat, Rajasthan, Punjab and along the LoC. No drone activity spotted for many hours. Security forces remain on high alert. Prime Minister Narendra Modi holds high-level meeting at his residence following agreement to stop firing and military actions between India and Pakistan to review the situation. India's External Affairs Minister says country consistently maintained firm and uncompromising stance against terrorism and will continue to do so. Russian president proposes holding direct talks with Ukraine in Istanbul on Thursday, says Ukraine talks should aim to eliminate root causes of the conflict. The United States and Iran will hold another round of nuclear talks on Sunday in Oman ahead of President Trump's visit to the Gulf nations. India and Pakistan have agreed on an understanding on stoppage of all firing and military action on Saturday. Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri said the Director General of Military Operations of Pakistan called his Indian counterpart at 15:35 hours IST on Saturday. It was agreed between them that both sides would stop all firing and military action on land and in the air and sea with effect from 1700 hours Indian Standard Time on Saturday. Instructions were given on both sides to give effect to the understanding. The Director Generals of Military Operations will talk again on 12th of May at 1200 hours. After the big announcement, Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired a high-level meeting at his residence. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, National Security Advisor Ajit Doval, 3 service chiefs and Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri attended the meeting along with other top officials. Earlier, meanwhile, according to government sources, India has asserted that any future act of terror will be considered as an act of war against it and New Delhi will respond accordingly. Following the announcement, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar wrote on social media platform X, and I quote, India and Pakistan have worked out an understanding on stoppage of firing and military action. India has consistently maintained a firm and uncompromising stance against terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. It will continue to do so. The State Investigation Agency of Jammu and Kashmir Police today conducted searches at multiple locations across South Kashmir. The raids were carried out in districts of Pulwama, Anantnag, Kulgam and Shopian in connection with the ongoing investigations into the cases related to anti-national activities. According to official sources, the operations were launched on the basis of credible intelligence inputs and were conducted under elaborate security arrangements. Senior officers of the agency supervised the search operations. Also, during the course of the operation, several digital devices, incriminating documents and other materials were seized. Our correspondent Salman Ghazi joins us from Kashmir. Salman, good morning. We've told our viewers about how no untoward incident was witnessed yesterday. You're there in Srinagar. Get us a sense of how has the day begun and also get us a quick account of the previous night.
There has been after this cessation of firing. There has been a deep sense of relief here in Jammu and Kashmir as the guns have fallen silent over LoC. with some minor this thing in the earlier parts of this when this ceasefire was announced. So it has been a huge relief to the people here in Jammu and Kashmir, especially in the border areas and across the areas of LoC, which would have been faced the most burnt of these ceasefire violations. In the context of these raids, State Investigation Agency, it's an agency that has been made dedicatedly for pursuing terror-related activities by the Union Territory government. It's patterned on National Investigation Agency. It's currently doing raids across multiple sites in the 4 districts of the South Kashmir, and multiple places have been raided, and there have been elaborate security arrangements done by the local security agencies and the NIA and the SIA to conduct these raids. We have been informed that some digital devices, some other published material has been taken in for evidentiary purposes and for the forensic investigations. And I think in some time, State Investigation Agency might come up with an official communication regarding the purpose of these raids and the nature and extent of arrests that they have made, and the kind of things that they have taken in.
All right. Thank you so much, Salman, for joining in with those details. And the situation in Jammu city remained normal on Sunday, a day after the agreement of understanding was reached between India and Pakistan. No drones, firing and shelling were reported during the intervening night of May 10th and 11th. The situation was also normal in Poonch area after no drones, firing and shelling was reported during the night hours. Ankush Sharma is joining us from Jammu. Ankush, we've told our viewers that the night was peaceful in Jammu and also that no untoward incident was reported. You get us more as to what are you witnessing on the ground? How has the day begun?
The situation on the ground is totally normal right now, and there is no such incidents have been reported from yesterday, and there is no incident of cross-border firing, drones, and now the situation is totally normal. The people are now again open their shops, and there is no panic now. In border areas, the people who left their houses and they took shelter in their relatives' homes and in the camps. They are also now planning to move back to their residence, and now the situation is totally under the control. And we spoke with some individuals also. They have expressed their deep happiness towards this decision which took by our government yesterday, and the people are really happy, and they are saying that we want to live in open sky and we don't want war. And they also express their thoughts towards our security forces. They salute our security forces, and they have said that we are safe today just because of our security forces, just because of we have the strongest air defense system. We have a strong defense system in among the world, and that is what which makes us stronger today. And people also reacting on social media flooded with the reactions, and people are saying that it's a win for India, and we are with our security forces. We stood with our security forces, and as you know that India clarified that if any future terrorist activities happen in Jammu and Kashmir or any part of the country, it will consider as an act of war. So this time the situation is totally under the control. The life has returned towards the normalcy, and the people are now planning to move back towards their hometowns, which took shelter in their relatives, and which took temporary shelters in some places. So now this time I can say the situation is totally under the control. There is no firing incidents, there is no drone activities from yesterday night.
All right, Ankush, is there any official word from the administration with regard to any change in the precautionary measures? Because we do tell our viewers that in Punjab, the blackout was imposed yesterday, but you're there in Jammu. Tell us, any fresh instructions have been issued by the administration?
Not yet, because the administration is not asking for anything right now. There is a huge reason behind this, because from yesterday night there is a lot of rumors in the social media of especially in Jammu and Kashmir division. There are many false reports in social media, and there are reports of terrorism activities in Jammu central points like Nagrota area. There are reports in social media that there are terrorist activities in Nagrota area. So administration is continuously trying to circulate the real information, and administration is also asking people to not to trust any information. Right now there is a lot of false information on social media. That is why the administration is not issuing any new fresh information about the following SOPs or not. But yes, the people now know that there will no blackout. The life is normal now. But the administration needs some time to issue fresh guidelines, fresh information to the people. But now this time the false information is there, and
Right.
people are reacting on the basis of false information.
All right, Ankush, we'll leave it here. Thank you so much for joining in with these updates from Jammu. And life is slowly returning back to normal in Kashmir as well. Areas around Dal Lake and markets have started to open at Lal Chowk. TD India's correspondent Vishal Baristo reports from Srinagar.
This is Sunday morning and I'm here at Lal Chowk in Srinagar. Life is slowly coming back to normal. There has been a peaceful last night and no aggression from the other side of the border. As you can see, today is Sunday, people have come out to shop. This is Sunday Bazaar. Let's talk to some of the people here, some of the localites of Srinagar, and find out how do they feel. I have a shop owner. कैसे रही आपकी रात और कैसा लग रहा है कि जिंदगी अब नॉर्मल हो रही है?
जंग तो एक तबाही है, जंग से कोई मकसद नहीं निकलता है। जो ऐसे भाईचारा है हमें पार से भी यहाँ से वही हमें रखना है। आपस में ये जंग वंग नहीं होना चाहिए। कल से सारा माहौल ठीक हो गया, इन्होंने बातचीत आपस में की तो वही ठीक हुआ। जंग सही चीज़ नहीं है।
So he said that he is feeling better now. Let's talk to some more people. कैसा लग रहा है? आप चीज़ें पहले से बेहतर हुई है, ठीक लग रहा है आपको? कहाँ से आप?
पंजाब।
पंजाब से क्या करते हैं?
इधर सोफे का काम करते हैं।
ओके, तो कल रात चैन से सोए आप?
हाँ जी ठीक है, मगर थोड़ा बहुत हल्ला होता है।
अभी ठीक है?
अभी ठीक है, बढ़िया।
So there you heard from the locals, from the people who are working here. They are from a different state. But as you can see, life is slowly coming back to normal, and slowly the markets would be opening. It has already started and people can heave a sigh of relief. With cameraman Mohit Uike from Lal Chowk in Srinagar, this is Vishal Baristo for DD India.
Director General of the Border Security Force and all ranks on Sunday paid tribute to BSF Sub-Inspector Mohammad Imtiaz after he lost his life during cross-border firing by Pakistan along the international boundary in the Arispura area of Jammu. Taking to X, BSF said, and I quote, "DG BSF and all ranks salute the supreme sacrifice made by BSF Sub-Inspector Mohammad Imtiaz in service to the nation on 10th of May 2025 during cross-border firing by Pakistan along the international boundary in Arispura area, Jammu. Prahari Parivar stands firm with a bereaved family in this trying time." Earlier, the BSF also informed that a wreath-laying ceremony with full honours will be held on May 11th at Frontier Headquarters, Jammu, Palora. You're watching DD India News Hour. We are heading for a short break, but after the break, Home Secretary holds video conference with Chief Secretaries of all states bordering Pakistan to take stock of civil defence preparations. Amritsar city of Punjab remains on red alert even as authorities advise citizens to stay indoors and adhere to the instructions given. Drone sighted in border district of Kutch even as the state of Gujarat remains on high alert. State ministers meet to review the security situation.
Welcome to Jaipur.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour. Home Secretary Govind Mohan held a video conference with the Chief Secretaries of all the states bordering Pakistan to ensure all civil defence preparations are completed. The Chief Secretaries of Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab, Rajasthan and Gujarat attended the meeting. The video conferencing was conducted by Home Secretary in view of the current situation. Border state of Punjab remains on red alert, ensuring abundant caution. Amritsar Deputy Commissioner implemented the blackout as a precautionary measure last night. She urged everyone to stay indoors, away from windows and remain calm. Earlier, she withdrew all restrictive orders imposed within the district except the restriction on civilian drone flying. Normal work may resume as usual. Meanwhile, authorities are repeatedly asking citizens to refrain from spreading or believing in unverified rumours and said that for accurate and official updates, always rely on trusted government sources. Our correspondent Amritpal Singh joins us from Kartarpur. Amrit, you've told our viewers that Punjab remains on red alert, ensuring abundant caution. But at the same time, the situation was somewhat better in Jammu and Kashmir when we talk of the exchange, when we talk of Pakistan's escalation towards India. Get us more. What are you witnessing? You there in Kartarpur? What are you picking up from the ground there?
Well, there were no incidents of any cross-border firing or projectiles being launched into India or breach of the understanding reached between the DGMOs since 5 p.m. last evening when it came into effect. So there were incidents in Jammu and Udhampur and also in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, but then the night remained quiet. Right now it's all quiet. Punjab, there were no incidents. The situation remains critical and precarious. They are waiting and watching. The armed forces are not letting up their guard and they remain on high alert. The civil administration and the state government is also on high alert. Red alert is all along the Punjab border in the border districts. As you know, Punjab shares a 532-kilometer long border with Pakistan. So the border guarding force, that's the BSF, and the army remains on high alert, including the Air Force. There are multiple Air Force stations and air bases in Punjab. In case there is any kind of misadventurism from the Pakistani side, they can give a befitting reply to it. But right now, things remain tense but calm for the moment. Preeti.
All right, Amrit, you tell us things remain calm but tense. But then what do you make of the situation at present? Because the DGMOs of both the countries will talk again on 12th of May at 1200 hours. What do you make of this calm which is being witnessed at present?
The calm is they're waiting and watching with bated breath. If there is any kind of a violation of the peace understanding or the stop of the military campaign understanding, as was witnessed briefly last night, it was, as the Foreign Secretary made it very clear, that the Indian armed forces and the Indian military will respond, in equal measure and will give a befitting reply. So the armed forces, there is no letting down of the guard by the armed forces, as I said, but because there is no breach right now, but they're taking no chances. Amritsar was pitched into darkness all night. There were blackouts in other bordering districts and other districts of Punjab, though limited blackouts, but Pathankot, Firozpur, Faridkot, Bathinda. So there were blackouts. Jalandhar there was a blackout, Mohali there was a blackout which is called Sahibzada Ajit Singh Nagar, there was a blackout, but beyond that, and you read out the advisory of the Deputy Commissioner of Amritsar, because Amritsar is very close to Lahore, which is the core headquarters of the Pakistani Army's corps. So, these districts remain on high alert, but as I said, there is a calm. They are waiting and watching. If there is any kind of breach of the understanding, then of course the military apparatus will come into play, but they are still taking no chances, so that there are no civilian casualties or injuries in case Pakistan resorts to any unprovoked firing, etc. from the other side.
All right, Amrit, apart from Pakistan's escalation at the border areas, Pakistan has also resorted to false propaganda, aiming to instill hatred among, a particular community in India. You're there in Punjab. What is the general sentiment you are witnessing? What is it that you are, picking up in this regard?
That's a good question. It's true. They try to sow communal discord in India. Even where I am in Punjab, which is a Sikh-dominated state, they use fake propaganda, like the Indian Army itself is bombing holy sites in Amritsar, is bombing Nankana Sahib across the border. But the Indian apparatus, IW apparatus, called out their bluff, and put out credible images of how why would the Indians do that? And so it is not cutting ice with the common man. When I speak to villagers, where I have been, and I've traveled through 3-4 border districts of Punjab, I haven't found a single individual saying that they believe this propaganda. They may have been able to, get a few disgruntled elements in London and Canada to hold flags outside Indian missions, but if they are looking for fault lines here in Punjab, they can't find any, because there exists none. So that isn't cutting ice, and the fake propaganda that they apart from the communal discord that they try to get, say even with the Muslim community. We have a Colonel Sophia Qureshi sitting and calling out the Pakistani army for what they are. It is a very secular country that we live in, and all sections of society, all communities, all faiths here live in equal, with equal rights. So I think that message was loud and clear to Pakistan, but they did what they did, and they tried their hand at it and failed miserably.
All right, Amrit, we'll leave it here. Thank you so much for joining in with those updates. That was our correspondent Amrit Pal Singh telling us more about the current situation in Punjab. We also tell you that the situation was somewhat better in Jammu and Kashmir, and our correspondent Amrit Pal Singh, joining us from Kartarpur, also told us that the situation had been peaceful during the past night. And Gurmeet Singh is joining us again from Punjab to get us more. Gurmeet, good morning. Get us more as to what are you witnessing. We tell our viewers that the situation has somewhat eased in Punjab and also in Jammu and Kashmir earlier. You tell us more about what are you witnessing, how has the day begun, and also get us an account of the previous night.
Preeti, at the moment, I would like to tell our viewers that we are in in the village which is adjacent to the international border with Pakistan. So this is Noshera Tala village in Amritsar, where we are at the moment, and I would like to show you, first of all, I would like to show you the visuals of this village. I would request my video journalist to show you the visuals, and where we are noticing that the people of this village, they are following their daily routine like they used to follow earlier. So the situation seems to be quite normal, and people are quite feeling secure at this point in time, especially where I'm reporting from. Due to the security reasons, we cannot show you the international border and the fencing over there, but I can tell you the exactly where I'm standing. I'm standing approximately 500 meters away from the fencing from the international border, and it is quite visible. From here I can see the international border, and 5 to 10 minutes back a person came to me and he told me that the security people over here, they are watching you since last half an hour. And you can understand, when I am reporting from here, when a journalist is reporting from international border, from a village which is situated here, so you can understand the peace and calm, the feeling of security over here among the people. People are feeling quite secure, and it's not about this area only. From whole of the Punjab, and specifically 6 districts of Punjab which are near the international border, which are touching the international boundary, Amritsar, Taran Taran, Gurdaspur, as Amritpal was also telling you, Firozpur, Fazilka. In all these districts, the people are quite secure and they are happy at this moment, and the situation seems to be quite normal. But at the same time, we are seeing a social media misinformation campaign that is taking place on large level, and last night also we've seen that social media was abundant with the messages like few people have spotted drones in Pathankot district, in the border areas like Mamoon and Bamyal sector. And on the other side, we've got information through social media only that there are rumors that in Gurdaspur also, in Dera Baba Nanak area, few people have spotted drones over there also. So after that, there was blackout in both of the districts. In Amritsar, the blackout was imposed, and it led to the blackout in 15 districts of Punjab. But later on, the advisory was issued to all the people of Punjab by the various district administrations that this blackout is being done as a precautionary measure. They should not panic, they should stay indoors and follow all the guidelines being given to them at this point in time. So the district administration made it clear that there is no imminent danger, but for the security reasons only, this have been done, and by the morning, all the things were normal and the blackout was also over. So at the moment, in Punjab, starting from Amritsar to Patiala to Ludhiana to Jalandhar, wherever you go, the situation seems to be quite normal.
All right, Gurmeet, we'll leave it here. Thank you so much for joining in with those details. So we had correspondents joining us from Jammu and Kashmir and Punjab, telling us that the situation has got better, as no cross-border firing was witnessed in either Jammu and Kashmir or Punjab, and no drones were also witnessed in these states. We'll keep you updated in continuation of the ongoing efforts to curb cybercrime and digital arrest cases as part of Operation Chakra. CBI has launched searches at 38 locations across 8 states today. Raids are being carried out in connection with the illegal activities involving digital arrest, impersonation, fraudulent advertisement, investment fraud, UPI frauds, etc. CBI arrested 5 persons from 4 states in view of their involvement in selling of SIM cards unauthorizedly by violating the KYC norms in conspiracy. The searches also led to seizure of incriminating documents and articles. The action is part of the ongoing commitment of Government of India to severely deal with cybercrime and its perpetrators, with a special emphasis on dismantling the infrastructure behind such offences. The investigation is still underway. Let's take a look at other stories making it to the headlines from across India. The Met Department predicted that southwest monsoon will arrive in Kerala on May 27th, 5 days earlier than usual. This early arrival is expected to boost kharif sowing and crop production. The IMD also forecast an above normal monsoon in 2025 with 105% of the long period average rainfall. Thousands of devotees participated in the grand annual journey of Chittirai festival in Madurai, Tamil Nadu. Lord Kalazagar began his annual procession from Alagar Hills to Madurai, marking a highlight of the festival. The deity was carried in a golden palanquin accompanied by devotees and will culminate with a ceremonial entry into the Vaigai River. Rajasthan's Ajmer gears up for Laila Kaila Fair on Narsimha Jayanti. The 2-week festival marks the birth anniversary of Lord Narsingh, who is the incarnation of Hindu Lord Vishnu. This centuries-old tradition, believed to be over 3,000 years old, draws thousands of devotees and their spectators. Also, the fair reenacts the mythological battle between Lord Vishnu's incarnation and that is symbolized by Lalya and the demon represented by Kalya. You're watching DD India News. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, Trump hails progress after first day of US-China trade talks. Kim Moon-soo reinstated as conservative nominee against Democratic Party's Lee Jae-myung in South Korea for the snap presidential vote on June 3rd. 3 days national mourning declared in Ecuador after 11 soldiers were killed in an ambush by suspected FARC guerrillas.
Welcome to Manipur, a state that's waiting to enchant you with the jewels of nature, where the love of art and beauty is inherent in people. Full of trailblazing milestones. And heroes that scripted history. Its mystical charm will leave an impression for a lifetime. Come, savor the jewel land of Manipur.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour. Russian President Vladimir Putin is calling for direct peace talks with Ukraine, proposing a high-stakes summit in Istanbul on May 15th. The announcement marks the most serious signal of diplomacy since talks broke down more than 2 years ago. But with deep mistrust on both sides and a fresh push from European leaders for an immediate ceasefire, the question remains, will this be a genuine step towards peace? Here's a report.
Russian President Vladimir Putin on Sunday proposed holding direct talks with Ukraine in Istanbul on May 15. The Kremlin's surprise offers signals what could be the most serious push for diplomacy since negotiations collapsed over 2 years ago.
Let me remind you, it was not us who walked away from talks in 2022. It was Ukraine. Still, despite everything, we are ready to resume direct negotiations without any preconditions.
Putin said the goal is not just a temporary ceasefire, but a lasting peace, one that, in his words, addresses the root causes of the conflict. He plans to speak with Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan to finalize details for the Istanbul summit. This bold proposal comes just hours after European leaders, including UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer and French President Emmanuel Macron, visited Kiev, urging Moscow to accept an immediate 30-day unconditional ceasefire. But the Russian president pushed back, accusing Ukraine of ignoring 3 recent ceasefire proposals, a month-long halt to attacks on energy infrastructure, an Easter truce and a symbolic pause during World War II commemorations. Ukraine in turn has consistently denied those claims, asserting that Russian strikes continued despite Moscow's public declarations of restraint. Moscow has similarly alleged violations by Kiev. With both sides trading blame and accusations, the stage is now set for a critical showdown, diplomacy versus distrust. May 15th could mark a critical moment for Eastern Europe, a chance for peace or yet another missed opportunity. Bureau Report, DD India.
Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump said on Sunday that he will continue to work with both sides to end the conflict in Ukraine. Trump in a social media post said, and I quote him, "A potentially great day for Russia and Ukraine." Trump's statement came after Russian President Putin's proposal for direct talks with Kyiv. Trump also said that he will continue to work with both sides to make sure that it happens. US President Donald Trump hailed talks with China in Switzerland on Saturday, saying the two sides had negotiated a total reset in a friendly but constructive manner. Though he did not elaborate on the progress, earlier top US and Chinese officials wrapped up the first day of talks in Geneva aimed at diffusing a trade war that threatens to hammer the global economy and plan to resume negotiations on Sunday. Neither sides made any statements afterwards about the substance of the discussions, nor signaled any specific progress towards reducing crushing tariffs at the meetings at the residence of Switzerland's ambassador to the UN. Iran will hold a 4th round of indirect nuclear talks with the United States on Sunday in Oman. The 4th round of negotiations, initially scheduled for May 3rd in Rome, was postponed due to logistical reasons. US President Donald Trump has threatened to bomb Iran if no agreement is reached with his administration to resolve the long-standing dispute. He withdrew the US from a 2015 nuclear deal between Iran and the world powers. The Western countries say Iran's nuclear program, which Tehran accelerated after the US walkout from the new moribund 2015 accord, is geared towards producing weapons, whereas Iran insists it is purely for civilian purposes. Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, plans to attend the talks in Oman. Witkoff, in an interview, said that Iranians had stated that they do not want a nuclear weapon and that the United States will take them at their word on this point. Meanwhile, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said on Saturday that if the United States' goal is to deprive Iran of its nuclear rights, Tehran will never back down over those rights. Araghchi was speaking in Doha as he planned a visit to Qatar and Saudi Arabia on Saturday, and it was in line with continuous consultations with neighboring countries to address their concerns and mutual interest about the nuclear issue. Iran has repeatedly said its right to enrich uranium is non-negotiable and has ruled out a zero enrichment demand by some US officials. Iran's Ayatollah Ali Khamenei in Tehran on Saturday urged Muslim nations not to forget about the plight of Palestinians in Gaza, which is facing possible famine after Israel imposed a months-long blockade on aid. Blaming the United States and Britain for the worsening crisis in Gaza, where Israel vowed to expand its military campaign against Hamas and broke a truce in March, Khamenei urged the whole world to stand against Israel. The US is backing a mechanism for getting aid into Gaza, which would be handled by private companies, while the US President Donald Trump is planning to visit the Middle East next week. US President Donald Trump is heading to Saudi Arabia, Qatar and the UAE on Monday, his first major foreign trip of his second term, focused on billion-dollar deals in defense, AI and energy. 8 years after his glowing orb moment in Riyadh, this historic return is rich in symbolism but fraught with unresolved crisis. From Gaza's conflict and Iran's nuclear ambitions to Yemen's unrest, Trump faces a region in turmoil. In Riyadh, Trump will meet the leaders of the 6 Gulf Cooperation Council states, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait and Oman. But one place that is not on the itinerary is Israel, the United States' closest ally in the region. South Korea's conservatives made another about-face on Saturday and reinstated their nominee, Kim Moon-soo. Divided People Power Party earlier dropped him and then reinstated as they struggled for unity to challenge the Liberal frontrunner in the snap June 3rd presidential vote. The decision, which was made after polling party members got confused over whether to replace him with former Prime Minister Han Duck-soo. Now the party has promised to seek unity and build a big tent coalition to take on Liberal Democratic Party's candidate Lee Jae-myung when campaigning officially begins on Monday. Lee has been a clear frontrunner to replace Conservative former President Yoon Suk-yeol, who was removed from office in April for violating his duties when he declared a short-lived martial law in December. Bangladesh's interim government, led by Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus, has banned all activities of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's Awami League under the Anti-Terrorism Act. The decision, taken at a special cabinet meeting, will remain in force until the International Crimes Tribunal completes trials against the party and its leaders for alleged crimes during Hasina's rule. Ecuador's President Daniel Noboa declared 3 days of national mourning after 11 soldiers were killed in an ambush by suspected FARC guerrillas near the Colombian border. Around 80 soldiers were carrying out an operation to combat illegal mining in the Ecuadorian Amazon when they were attacked by the guerrillas, leaving 11 soldiers and a militant dead and 1 soldier wounded. The attack on Friday comes amid a spike in violence in both nations linked to the trafficking of cocaine produced in Colombia and exported through Ecuadorian ports to the United States and Europe. Tufts University student Romeza Ostak thanked her supporters as she returned to Boston on Saturday night following her release from 6 weeks of detention in an immigration facility in Louisiana. Ostak was arrested on March 25th after her student visa was revoked following an op-ed she co-wrote criticizing her university's response to Israel and conflict in Gaza. A federal judge ordered her release, stating that her detention appeared to be punishment for constitutionally protected speech. Ostak thanked her supporters and said that she will continue her case in court. In Somalia's capital, Mogadishu, the devastating impact of relentless rainfall continues to unfold. As families claw through rubble and debris, searching for missing loved ones, the city is gripped by a sense of helplessness and heartbreak. At least 7 people have lost their lives in a devastating overnight flood following hours of relentless rainfall on Saturday. The torrential downpour, which began late on Friday, lasted for nearly 10 hours. It triggered widespread flooding and displaced more than 200 families and caused significant infrastructural damage across the city. Pope Leo XIV will lead in the Regina College prayers from the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica on Sunday in his second official public appearance since becoming the leader of the Catholic Church. The prayer is expected to draw thousands of people anxious for a closer look at the modest pontiff, born as Robert Francis Prevost, who before becoming the first U.S. Pope spent much of his life as a missionary in Peru. On Saturday, Leo prayed before Francis' tomb inside Santa Maria Maggiore Basilica. The church was a favorite of Francis and faithful have continued to line up to pay their respects there. The late Pope Francis, who died on April 21st, made surprise visits to Catholic sites near Rome quite frequently. He asked to be buried at St. Mary Major in a simple tomb, decorated only with an inscription of the word Franciscus in his name, that is his name in Latin. The 77th Cannes Film Festival kicks off on May 13th, drawing the world's attention to the French Riviera. With an impressive lineup of 22 films competing for the prestigious Palme d'Or, The festival promises to showcase both emerging filmmakers and cinema legends. This year's competition includes films from internationally acclaimed directors like Jafar Panahi and Julia Ducournau. Wes Anderson's The Phoenician Scheme and the Dardenne brothers' Young Mothers are also among the high-profile contenders. Meanwhile, Hollywood stars such as Tom Cruise, Robert De Niro and Jennifer Lawrence will grace the red carpet. Alongside the cinematic excitement, political controversies are also making headlines, from the sexual assault trial of French actor Gerard Depardieu to the potential fallout from Donald Trump's proposed tariffs on foreign films. A quick look at other stories making it to the headlines from across the world. Coffins holding the bodies of 11 soldiers who were killed by dissident FARC guerrillas arrived in Quito and they received military honors. Around 80 soldiers were carrying out an operation to combat illegal mining in Ecuadorian Amazon when they were attacked by guerrillas, leaving 11 soldiers and a militant dead and 1 soldier wounded. Farmers and volunteers started planting rice at terraced paddies on the coast of the Noto Peninsula, central Japan, which were hit by powerful earthquake and torrential downpours last year. About 100 volunteers from around Japan carefully planted seedlings of the Koshihikari variety with the farmers. A group of farmers managing the paddies has been working to restore them. The Sheraton Crossroads Hotel in Mahwah, New Jersey was demolished, a prominent fixture on the New Jersey skyline. The iconic glass and steel building first opened in 1987 and closed in December 2023. Drone video showed the hotel crashing down in a controlled implosion. Developers have not confirmed what is next for the 140-acre lot. You're watching DD India News Hour. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, Yannick Sinner makes victories return to tennis at Italian Open after a 3-month doping ban. Defending champion Iga Swiatek crashes out of Italian Open. And thousands in Bolivia attempt world record with Andean flutes. Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour, and now we'll get to updates from sports. Talking of tennis first, Yannick Sinner made victories return to tennis after a 3-month doping ban. He swept aside Mariano Navone in straight sets 6-3, 6-4 at the Italian Open in Rome. The Italian had not played since winning the Australian Open in January due to the suspension he accepted from WADA. For the 3 times Grand Slam champion, it was not about just winning on home soil, but also rebuilding the momentum. The Italian said he had his doubts going into the match and still does, but that he wasn't letting that bother him as he looks to get back into form.
Well, it's for sure on the top spot. No, it has been amazing to go again on court after such a long time, having a great support also in the last days. From the first day when I came here, it has been amazing. So yeah, I was waiting for this moment quite long time. It doesn't matter as much as all the rest matters. So I'm very happy about today. Obviously happy to play at least one more match here, and then we see how it goes.
Defending champion Iga Swiatek crashed out of the Italian Open after a 6-1, 7-5 loss to American Danielle Collins in the 3rd round. 5 times Grand Slam champion, Swiatek went 5-0 down in the opening set before getting on the board to avoid a bagel. Collins showed no mercy, sealing victory in 1 hour and 44 minutes. The loss could cost Swiatek the world #2 ranking as her French Open title defense looms. The Polish tennis player has lost 9 matches this year, while she has not reached a clay court final ahead of her bid to retain the French Open title later this month. Coach Carlo Ancelotti said that Real Madrid will need to play a complete game to defeat La Liga leaders Barcelona in their El Clasico on Sunday. Real have a 4-point gap to make up with 4 games remaining if they are to retain the title, and for Ancelotti, they will need to get everything right to have a chance. Real have lost all the 3 previous games against Barcelona in this campaign, including the recent Copa del Rey final, and exited the Champions League at the quarter-final stage against Arsenal, which they won the competition last season. The speculation surrounding Ancelotti's future has only increased with the news that former Real player Xabi Alonso will leave Bayer Leverkusen at the end of the season.
We are looking forward to it. It is a very important game where a lot is at stake. We are confident and we think we can make it. It is going to be a very difficult and complicated, like it has been in the last games against Barcelona. However, the last game we played against them, it was a bit less complicated, and this gives us confidence. We need to try and win the game. We must defend well because Barcelona likes to attack.
Chelsea completed an unbeaten season in the Women's Super League with a 1-0 win over Liverpool, and Arsenal held on for a 4-3 victory over Manchester United to finish second in the standings. Chelsea, who sealed their 6th consecutive WSL title last month, were unable to break down Liverpool's defence until the 91st minute when Aji Bibijon scored the winner. 8-time champions Chelsea finished with 19 wins and 3 draws to earn 60 points, which was the highest total in a WSL season. They also become the first team to go unbeaten in a 22-match series. Also, Arsenal ended the season with 48 points, 4 ahead of the third-placed United. World Football's governing body FIFA has approved the proposal of expanding the Women's World Cup from 32 to 48 teams from the 2031 edition onwards. The 48-team World Cup will adopt a 12-group format, increasing the total number of matches from 64 to 104. This move follows the decision of expanding the Men's World Cup in 2026 and extending the tournament by 1 week. The 2027 Women's World Cup, which will be held in Brazil, will have 32 teams.
The FIFA Council, after having thoroughly analyzed the question, decided today to increase the number of participating teams or participating countries in the FIFA Women's World Cup to 48. As of the edition of the FIFA Women's World Cup 2031, there will be not anymore 32 teams participating, but 48 countries from all over the world.
More than 3,000 Bolivians gathered in La Paz to play the Andean music known as tarquiera in an attempt to break a world record, authorities said. Tarquieras are traditional Bolivian musical gatherings where people play an Andean flute called the taca. With that, we end this edition of DD India News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can download the respective QR codes. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us at Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.
Always welcoming. The vibe of Punjab is larger than life.